Hey, what is up, people of the YouTubeverse? I am back once again with part 2. No, that's not supposed to be there. Yeah, 2. Part 2, and how do you do? I brought a little something today. I did do a short video in the past about this, but considering that I was more reading it off the fly and was very surprised about it actually being really good, I'm actually going to use this today to help explain what more about tree frogs specifically. And also, I'm going to say that is a green tree frog, American green tree frog right here. This is what they look like. This is what they are mostly seen as. Now, they can be a darker green, which is something I didn't talk about last time. I'm also going to be talking about the 3 different types of land slash sea animal things, because we talked about a boreal a lot in the last video and whatnot. So first, foremost, green tree frog. I forgot what my first point was. Give me a second to recalculate. Right, okay. I got it. Frogs changing colors. Alright, so a frog normally, when it is a vibrant, bright green, it is calm, it is in an area where it feels safe, and so they are flashing their normal color. They do have the ability to change their coloring, similar to anoles, to bearded dragons, is mostly under the same circumstances as well. What they will do is that they will darken themselves to either try to camouflage onto the wood of the tree, or they will do that to darken their skin to absorb more sunlight if they ever feel like that they're getting a little cold, or if they just want to enjoy the sun some and want to get extra warmed up of any sort of way, or if they just want to be out in the open and still hide from predators. Most of their predators are going to be stuff such as, well, birds in most places, but where there are domestic cats in whatever country, cats are a big predator for things like frogs, lizards, and things like that. In fact, in Australia, it's a huge issue right now because cats got brought in from North America and Europe, and now they are rampant, and they are actually killing off lizard species and everything. So, big time hunters. A feline is opportunistic predator, carnivore. They cannot produce their own taurine, so they have to eat the meat of other animals, heart, organs, stuff like that, in order to produce that taurine that their body cannot produce. And I know I discussed that some before, and we're not talking about cats today. But cats, birds, and other larger species of other reptiles are the main predators for frogs. Outside of that, the most obvious one is humans. And humans will also eat frogs. Mostly the legs, the rest of the body, it's not really safe or anything to eat, but the muscle in the legs and stuff, and large frogs, it's actually a delicacy in some countries. And even in North America, you can find them here too. So, well, frog legs out there, but it's rare, and not many Americans do enjoy that. So, you're not going to see it very much here in North America. And yeah, I don't blame them. But also for other things like whatnot, there's so much that humans and frogs have had such a weird relationship. We're not going to get into that either. I can get off topic so easy, folks. All right, back on topic. So the color changing, that's the big reason for it. To hide from predators, absorb sunlight, and really that's it. As far as what my experience is, science kind of agrees with the same, but we can never know for sure, because they could also use the color changing for communication between one another, or something like that. There's still a lot about the animal kingdom that we're not quite sure of, or that we do not know 100%, and we like to speculate on things. So what we do understand is what I understand about color changing, and it can happen. And I find that their brightest green color is when they're most calm, most chill, and they are just at rest, and they don't have to absorb any sunlight. Now, when it comes to a boreal, which we talked about last time, it means tree dwelling. Arboreal creatures can be avian species and stuff like that. Bats might be considered terrestrial because they sleep in caves and not in trees and stuff. And birds are also called avian because the bird species, all of it can usually fly. And the other thing is marine. Now this is where, I didn't talk about much about it last time, because this is where frogs become amphibious. Now, not all species of frogs either. There are the frogs such as the African dwarf frog or the Lake Titicaca frog. Yes, there is a frog called the Titicaca frog. It is named after the lake it is found in, And from what I've heard recently, there was a frog. I cannot remember the lake's name right now. Give me 1 second to check that up. So yeah, this is why I keep saying always be doing research and everything, because check this out. This is how I do research. So you can see all that up there, blah, 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 blah. So when I went to largest aquatic frog species, I got the Titicaca, which is what I always knew to be that, but I heard recently through a very specific channel called Clint's Reptiles, and this is his channel. I paused it. The title of it's 10 animals I didn't know existed. The Lake Junin giant frog is larger than the Titicaca frog. And that's, again, always do your research. Always check more than one source and listen to people. Listen to experts and stuff. You'll learn so much from so many different things and so many different channels out there. But yes, so I wanted to make sure that I got the right information out. So I know sidetracked it a little bit from where I was getting at. But yeah, that's that. And so we can move on now. Oh gosh, I scratched my eye right there. And it's kind of like irritating every time I bite. It's not too bad, but it's like paper cuttage. So frogs are amphibian is what I'm getting at, because they are, for the most part, first part of their life is fully aquatic. They are tadpoles. They cannot walk. They cannot do anything. They kind of evolve to get legs. They drop the need for like smaller lungs. Well, I mean, some frogs do have small lungs, but the way that the skin works and everything, there's a lot of cool sciencey stuff that biologists and stuff this is why some of their favorite animal is the amphibious frog species kind of idea. Newts, things like that. The whole idea, even axolotls, like all these weird little animals and the way that they do these weird, quirky evolution things gets us all so stinking interested about them and everything, man. But anywho, we're going to go straight into tree frog here, because they are the ones that move from the water and do not stay in the water. They go from being aquatic to arboreal. And that is really cool. And we're going to get right into that with the little handheld thing, the paper sheet thing, not handheld, I don't know how, pamphlet. I could not think of the word pamphlet. Huh. So we got into the sciencey stuff, the cool stuff, and how things can be housed together and of some degree. Now, this is a PetSmart pamphlet, as I've said in the past, and they're not too bad. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to pull this up, and we're going to go ahead and read this together. Now, beginner experience, yes. However, you do have to remember holding them and touching them with your bare hands will irritate their skin. So please remember that. If you're going to get a green tree frog, they cannot really be handled. And here they got the size right, just like I was saying with the other research I was doing. They can grow up to about 2.5 inches or 6 centimeters. They're approximately 5 to 6 years. Some have been recorded to live as long as 15 to 20 years, which is something I also was recognizing. The 20 years is a bit more rare, but it is and can happen. So, you know, take care of your animals really good, and they can live a really long time. So keep that in mind, though. Those frogs don't live a short period of time. If you want a frog that's going to live for only a couple years, you would need to get you an aquatic tank and get an African dwarf frog. They're a small frog species, but they are fragile and they need very special care, and they need a fully aquatic tank setup to live. But if you did want a frog that's shorter lived, a smaller creature, you would have to research not any kind of terrarium like this. You would more research on how to do an aquarium. Now, the origin, common throughout southeastern United States. Yes. And then in some cases, it's been said that they can be found here and there, but I believe most people that say that they see them on other spots, they are mostly misidentifying a different type of tree frog. It probably isn't a green, it's probably another type. But with the way things are, they can very easily start migrating and find their way into the West Coast if they really wanted to, but they are going to be found mostly on the east, from north to south, pretty much. They are very adaptable. And then behavior. Prefers permanent water structure in their habitat and may be housed in groups of 2 or 3. Correct. So this is smaller than what I would do. You see how I keep my frogs. I got 2 big water dishes in there for them, and I'm always refilling and messing with them, and I allow the springtails to kind of comb and skate across the water. because they will also eat the stuff that's bad off the frog's skin, and the springtails are so small, they do not harm the frogs at all. Now, going into the terrarium. This is smaller than I would put them in. I would say for tree frogs, you're going to want to have at least 2 in a group together of similar size. If they're 2 different in size, one will eat the big one will eat the smaller one. But this is basic, because you can see how big that frog is. Now, they did a good job representing the size. This is your basic, like, 15-gallon starter tank, probably. They do like tall, but I would recommend getting an aquatic tank kind of thing and buying a mesh lid to fit over it, because a tall 20-gallon has a lot of good space in it. And let's see here. Day and nighttime temperatures. Yep. But they can go and survive. So you can see it saying day and night ambient. Ambient, I like that. That's funny. Target range, yeah, 70 to 85 during the day, which is what they're saying down there, 85 at least. So they can go and survive in temperatures as low as 60 and be okay. But that is correct. You don't want it to go under 70. Humidity high, correct, 60 to 80%. Mist at least 2 times a day. Large water dishes, moss, and coconut fibers, anything to retain moisture. Now, when it comes to setting up and stuff, I'm not going to read all that, because this is stuff that we learn throughout many of the videos I make. You see my tank. I'm going to show you my tank at the end of this video real quick, and you can just kind of get a look and see what I like and what's been working for my frogs for about 4 to 5 years that I've had them for. And then, yeah, so right there, if you guys didn't want to read it, I'm just going to sit on this page for a second. If you wanted to pause and read through that yourself, this information is actually not bad, even though it came from PetSmart. And the other thing I like about these kind of thing, all pamphlets do have a checklist in the back. So, and again, I'm not a sponsor. In fact, PetSmart did me kind of bad when everything, not too long ago, personal stuff, but I do not let personal stuff put anyone down. This is good information. I know PetSmart is hit or miss based on the PetSmart that's out there, but this pamphlet here is not terrible. Now, this is tip of the iceberg sort of information, but this is why I'm doing this channel, and I would like you guys to ask questions, please. Because I do very good off of asking questions, being asked questions. You're never too young to teach. You're never too old to learn. So if you guys hear something that you're like, I'm not sure that's quite right, you're more than welcome to correct me. I'm not going to be mad. I will do more research on the topic in specific and find out what I might have missed or what I might have messed up, misunderstood, whatever. Because I even was saying in some older videos, I was saying New Zealand on accident, but it's New Guinea where you find the white tree frog. So there's a lot of information, and sometimes I will goof, you know? So if you catch that, please call me out, so this way we can correct it and get the right information out there to people. With that, here's a little short thing about the frog tank, and then thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this stuff, please consider subscribing, liking, and definitely I love comments. I used to study to be a teacher, a music teacher, but we're doing this now, and I'm loving this, so I am great at listening to questions. I don't think there's anything as a stupid question. Do not be afraid. The other people out there, they can't talk stupid, because at one point they didn't know it either. Even if they act like they always knew. You're not born knowing everything. So with that, ask questions. That will probably be the biggest thing outside of subscribing you can do for me, because with questions, with topics of conversation regarding these wonderful creatures out there, and not just frogs, but all, including plants, let's get some good vibes out there about these things, because at the end of it, all we got is this world. Peace out. And we just gave them crickets for tonight, so this is going to be the end of the video and everything. There's the dumpy whites. There's the green tree. I'm going to back it up. And you can kind of see the difference. They are exactly almost double the size a dumpy white is. Double the size of a green tree. But at full sizes, you can see that they're both not able to really swallow each other. The dumpy whites is not really going to try, especially when they have all this other food running around, all these crickets and stuff. So, make sure you just keep track of the size. It's best to have a full-grown green tree and let the dumpy white grow from a juvenile to get used to the buddies being around them. And they're very social critters. They should easily just kind of adapt. I am sorry for the glare and everything, but, I mean, I can't help that. I'm trying my best, guys. Alright, but that's the end of that then. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Sorry, last thing. I know I say get off topic. 3 types. I said marine. It's aquatic. Marine is specific to saltwater aquatic creatures. So the 3 types I was trying to talk about that I kept getting distracted on as my buddy scabbed his eating water. Oh my gosh, dudes, I am tired. It is a full day and it is 11 o'clock at night. I worked from 1:30 to 9:30 p.m., which is why I'm doing all these videos now, because when I woke up, I had to go running around, shop, and clean and do, because payday, so yay, get new things. But now, he's done drinking his water. So, arboreal, tree dwellers, terrestrial, ground, underground, cave dwelling, or something of that sort. They are of more earth, such as Pac-Man frogs, terrestrial. So, the frog kingdom covers all those 3 as well, because the aquatic frogs, like the Titicaca, and so on, and Pac-Man and tomato frog is another good example of terrestrial, and then the arboreal are your many different types of tree frogs. Those are the 3. Got it. Whew.